We live?
Almost. On YouTube, yes. There's no one there yet, so it's okay. Dog froze again. I don't know.
Froze?
Yeah, it's coming back up
And here we go.
though. Come on.
And does this thing stay up there for a couple days, or does it
The
stay
live
up
stream?
there, the live stream?
People can review it and stuff.
Okay.
Yes. Show camera. Oh, okay. Alright, fine.
And won't stream two things at once?
No, it should. The camera first is required in rhythm interactions in your live. It has the camera first. It's just not
Connecting?
really this. Let's try this. Okay, there we go. Alright, ready?
Hold on. Okay.
Go
We good? Yeah, we're good. We're live. Okay. Hey, you guys. My name's Danny. I'm an alcoholic and addict. And welcome aboard the SS Good Ship Recovery. And hey, just so you guys know, every Friday, every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, I'm going to go live with tips and tricks on recovery. And today, I'm just going to break down the steps. You know, here's something that's super important, you guys. Like, I will never be so ignorant as to tell you that the 12 steps is the only way to recover. That if you don't work one step, you're going to be screwed. I'll never tell you that. I'll never tell you that there's the only way to find peace, happiness, salvation, nirvana, moksha, whatever you want to call it, is the 12 steps. I'm not going to say that. But I will tell you that it is a badass method that have worked for millions of people around the planet. Here's something super trippy too. You know, I get guys all the time, and then even on one of my feeds or one of my videos, I talked about the 12 steps. And, you know, people, and I come across people all the time, they go, I worked the 12 steps. I did all of them to the best of my ability, and it was crap, and it didn't work. And then I'll ask them, what's step 6? What is step 6? And they'll go, oh, that was the character defect or something. I'm like, what is step 6? And I'm like, how'd you do step 6? And then they won't have an answer. Because here's the deal. If you have done something, you will know exactly how you did it. You will know what the step is, and you'll know exactly how you did it, and you'll understand that. But if because a lot of people do this stuff like homework. You know, they'll be told like, hey, we want you to do an essay on King George III, and then they'll study up King George III, they'll write out this freaking essay, and then 3 months later, they'll ask you, hey, Who was King George the Third? They're like, I did like an essay on him, and I don't really remember, what it was. He was somewhere in England, blah, 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 blah. So if you do these things, like with my guys, I make sure that before we go to another step, that they have a clear understanding of how they did the step, why they did the step, what the step is, so that they can just say it out of their brain right off the bat. Because if it doesn't seep into the consciousness like that, then what are you doing? You're learning something and you're applying something to your life. And if you don't understand how you did it, you don't understand what that step is, then maybe you didn't freaking fully do it. And that's okay. And again, I'll never say the 12 steps is the only way. So on this little cha-cha right now, what I want to do is I want to talk about what the steps does and what they are and what they do. And I'm just going to give a brief, real quick breakdown on it. So step one, we admitted we were powerless over our addiction, over alcoholism, over our problem, and our lives had become unmanageable. Now, a lot of people do not like admitting they're powerless, and you hear it all the time. Powerless. No, don't. That depowers people. That tells people that they don't have, all this weird shit. All powerlessness is this. What do you want out of life? That's a stupid question because I know what you want. You want happiness, joy, freedom. You want meaning and purpose in life. You want to feel good every freaking day. You want to feel happy. At least you want to feel at peace, and you want to feel like your life has meaning and that you are good with who you are and the life you have. That's what everybody freaking wants. So if you have power, make it happen right now. Right now. All of a sudden, make yourself happy, joyous, and free because that's what you want. You want to feel good about yourself, the life that you have, the life that you live, the world around you. Make it happen right now. That's powerlessness. That's what it's saying. There's like, no, something's wrong with me. And then if you're blaming the world for the way that you feel, then you absolutely have no power whatsoever. Zero. Zip. If you blame people, places, and things outside of you for the way that you feel, you absolutely have no power. And you have to wait for the world to change, people to change, finances to change in order for you to be happy. And you know what? People wait their whole lives for that, and they wind up dying miserable. So true power comes from within and comes from awareness, consciousness, tapping into a higher power. True power flows in and then removes that negative shit. So step one is like, okay, yeah, I'm powerless. I keep getting loaded. I keep getting drunk. I keep acting out. I keep getting mad. I keep getting pissed off. I keep getting frustrated. I keep getting irritated. I don't want that stuff to happen, but it happens all the time. I'm in my car, road rage. My girl says something I don't like, and all of a sudden, like, I don't want to be angry and upset and fearful and just be pissed off at everything, but I am. And that is powerlessness. We don't want to feel shitty, but we keep doing that over and over and over again and blaming people. So, step one, yeah, I can't stop screwing myself with negativity. I'm powerless. That's all that's saying. And then is your life unmanageable? Well, if your life is unmanageable and you keep recreating bad circumstances and exhibiting bad behavior over and over, and the people that love you are super disappointed in you, and you're disappointed in yourself, well, then your life's unmanageable. That's all that step is. Step one, I can't stop screwing myself. Okay? And then we surrender. And surrender is just, like when like these other methods of recovery through like spirituality, through like yoga or church or some other method of spirituality to help people recover. They're learning something. They're learning something. They're surrendering. They're saying, I don't have the freaking answers in my brain. I'm taking courses. I'm taking classes. I'm learning something. I'm learning about myself. And so that is admitting you're powerless. So don't get hung up on that powerless thing. Just recognize you by yourself, sitting alone, don't have the freaking answer. So yeah, we surrender. Step 2, came to believe in a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. All that's saying is this. All that's saying is this. You want to be happy, joyous, and free. You keep trying to achieve something in your life, and it keeps failing based upon your behavior, your motives, your ideals, the way that you think, and you keep failing over and over and over and over again. Keep using drugs, keep using alcohol, keep using bad behavior over and over, worry, stress, fear. So if your power keeps doing that over and over and over again, and you keep acting horribly over and over and over again, and you keep engaging over and over and over again, isn't it make sense that maybe you gotta find another power, whatever that power is, because your power sucks? So we come to believe, we agree. For me, that was an agreement. I agree that I need another power and different kind of gas. I need 100 octane as opposed to running around with 60 octane, because it's not working. And that we're insane. Yeah, we have a mind, we have intelligence, we have capabilities, we've learned a lot of stuff through our lives, and we keep failing. That's insanity. We keep failing over and over and over again. We keep becoming something we never wanted to be. That's insanity, because I think we're smarter than that. I think you're smarter than that. But something is insane inside, and it keeps defeating that smarts. So yeah, we come to believe, we agree that we need another power. Great. Step 3, made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as we understand Him. Now, I don't want to get all wrapped up in religion, but I will tell you this: God, higher power, is love, man. It says it in all the religions and all the stuff. It's God is love. So what do I want? I want to love myself. I want to love my life. I want to love the world that I get to live in. I want to love it, And so I need some freaking love, man. So all we're going to do is surrender our ego, this thing that keeps filling my head up with worry and stress and blame and guilt and shame, and it keeps feeding me caca, and it keeps freaking telling me to do this stupid stuff and that it's going to be okay, and it's not okay. So that is what I'm turning my will, this thing, over to a higher power. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of all the different faiths and all this stuff. Okay, I don't. But there are two things that people have been doing for thousands of years to improve their spiritual condition. And what does your spiritual condition, what does that mean? Your spiritual condition. Well, we have a energy inside of us, our spiritual energy, and when it is not improved and when it is shitty, that spiritual energy is infected with fear, worry, stress, guilt, shame, boredom, frustration, irritation, procrastination, all the nations. It's infected with that. So now when we improve it, it means that we start discarding those ugly spiritual conditions, and then the positive ones grow, and love starts to manifest. When you see a good movie, I mean, I'm not talking about love like two people kind of love. I'm talking about the love of life. And the love of life is like right now. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, And I know that everyone's not going to agree with me, but I love it that now I'm this person that can carry a message, and hopefully it changes or gives a little bit of hope to one person. I love that I can do this. I love the sunshine. You know what I mean? I love, I went and had I went to Starbucks and I got a freaking cold foam, cold brew, caramel latte, and I freaking love that thing. It was cold and it was great. And I love the day and I love the sunrise and I love seeing the stars out at night. And when it's a full moon, I love that. I love it when I see these squirrels come out and I feed them some nuts and now I got them coming up to me and taking them out of my hand. Like that's the kind of love that I'm talking about. And when you pray and meditate, when you turn your will and your life over to the care of this higher power, I promise you, it fires the ego, the thing that makes you stress. It cleans up the heart, the things that makes you feel upset and irritated, and then love starts to go in here. Prayer and meditation. So that's what we're going to do on the third step. You're going to say a third step prayer, or you're going to say something like, "Hey, you, like, I can't figure out my shit, and you've helped other people and people have plugged into you and I don't know what you are, but I need some help here and I'm willing to turn them my ideas and all this shit over. Simple. Free me from the bondage of self. Free me from tripping." And it says in our deals that God does not place too many demands on those who seek him. So prayer and meditation. You know, people that pray all the time, they know it's badass to connect with their higher power. They know, they surrender. It fills them with joy and happiness and peace and serenity. Know that they're not alone and they're connecting with something. And they freaking recommend it all the time. Prayer. People that meditate all the time. You don't believe in God? Then meditate. People that I'm a big meditator. I got my meditation cushion right here. We're in my like little man cave right now. But I meditate all the time. And people that meditate all the time and just plug into the spirit of the universe, the source of all, the connection of everything, just fill themselves up with gratitude and joy and peace and love. They know it's badass. It is badass. You know? Like everything's gonna be okay no matter what. It's so freaking cool. All I have is words to explain it, but I wish that you could feel it. People that don't do it, question it, talk shit on it, say it's not for them. And if they're going to do that, well, God bless them and their spiritual and their wholesome, beautiful spiritual energy. Because whatever they're doing, it must be badass for them. People that hate. That's okay. That's okay. I get a bunch of negative comments on my stuff all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm stoked that you don't agree with me because that's your opinion. And if it's a super shitty opinion, well, you seem very happy. Anyway, I am. So that's all step 3 is. We're going to start praying and meditating, trying to connect to this deal. And, also on that step 3 is kind of a trippy deal because it's spirituality. And spirituality is a muscle. It's a muscle. Spiritual strength, being able to choose what you want to think, being able to choose how you want to feel, being able to choose to be grateful, to be joyful, to be at peace. That is spiritual strength. Okay? Not spiritual strength is blaming everybody and everything and complaining about all of your problems. That is not spiritual strength. That is like victim mentality. Oh, you make me feel bad. You make me feel rotten. You don't make me feel. You make me feel. They make me feel. They fucking do this. They do that. They do that. That is not taking responsibility for your own spiritual condition and choosing joy and happiness. Even through adversity, it might not always be joyful and happiness like that, but it's this contentment even going through adversity, difficulties, challenges. That's spiritual strength. But when we start this journey of prayer and meditation, when you start this journey, it's not going to be easy. You're not going to feel amazing all at once. It's like push-ups. If I told you, look, and I want to get a bigger chest and I'm going to do push-ups. So I'm going to do one push-up on Mondays between the hours of 12 p.m. and 12:02 p.m. I'm going to do one push-up on Mondays for 1 minute. Am I going to get stronger? No. I'm not going to get stronger. I'm going to get weaker actually. So prayer meditation, but if I do 100 push-ups every single day for a month, I will get stronger. So spirituality, meditation, prayer, connecting to a higher power takes diligence and practice. And when you do it every day, the connection gets stronger. You do it once in a while, and you're like, I'm not noticing a difference. I've been going to the gym like for the last 3 days, and I'm not any bigger. The gym doesn't work. That's the same thing with prayer. There's this acronym about prayer that says push. Pray until something happens. Meditate every day until you start feeling different about yourself, till you get more clarity. But most people tap out, or most people that don't do it talk shit on it, or don't want to do it, or whatever, and they just freaking angry and just, I don't know, and they blame all the world for their problems, and they're not happy. Because see, here's the thing. I'm going to show you this. What does that say? Inner work, period. That's my sign. Inner work. Because this life is a reflection of your insides. You're angry, hateful, ugly, you talk shit on everyone and everything. Well, it must be very ugly inside of you. And so, of course, this world looks like shit because it's all shitty inside of you. You watch, I see people all the time that just, they got this quote that says, stay away from negative people. They have a problem with every solution. They do, you know? So, yeah, you'll see ugly, negative people, and they're just talking shit, and their reality is shitty. Because the secret to life is if it's shitty in here, it's shitty out here. So we got to surrender the shit-making factory that we have in here. Once we surrender that, once we start meditating, start praying, start plugging into something other than our brain and our ugly feelings, then our spiritual condition will improve. I don't know. No, I do know. Because I know what happened to me. Look, I was a heroin addict. I shot heroin every day for freaking years. I was stuck on speed for years. I'd smoke speed, shoot heroin, freaking, yeah, TikTok's not gonna, it might cut us off because I've been talking I can't mention those things. But anyway, hey, that was me in my past. I was bad. I was bad, addicted to everything, and it was not a pretty picture, and I was the biggest disappointment and failure in my family's life. I did these 12 steps to the best of my ability. I learned what each step was. I learned how to do it. I practiced it every day. I practiced the prayers and the meditations every single day. And then bam, my spiritual condition began improving, and then my life began improving. There's this guy, and he's called Les Brown, and he is a badass. He's one of the great motivational speakers, and he is freaking a ninja. And he says, your life is only going to get better when you get better. That's it. When you get better, when the quality of your spiritual energy gets better, then your life gets better. But it requires work and dedication and perseverance and fortitude and commitments and self-discipline. And if you can't manifest that, I'm sorry. We're going to sit around and talk crap on the world and people, places, and things because we're not cool. Insecure people put people down and talk a bunch of crap. That's what insecure people do. And believe me, I was very insecure. I would see successful people and I would talk crap on them. I would see people that are putting their kids through colleges and I would talk crap on them. I would see successful people owning their own homes, taking care of others, taking their moms out to dinner, and I would talk crap on them. And I'd ride away on my bicycle with $3 in my pocket as a 30-year-old man. You know what I mean? I was very insecure. But it made me feel good to talk crap on people like I knew something, you know? But confident people, they compliment people. Confident people want people to grow and thrive. Confident people assist and help other people with their lives so that they can become better because they're not insecure about other people being better than them. And the truth is, no one's better or worse than anybody. We're all just people on this planet trying to figure it out the best we can. And you know what? You know, if the mountaintop was happiness and joy and peace and serenity, and that's what I want, that's what you want, that's what everybody wants, these guys are going up this mountain following this streamlined path. They're going up this mountain. They're achieving happiness and joy and cars and homes and houses and peace and serenity. And they're achieving victory. And they're going up this one path. Not me. I'm like, I got to cut my own path. So I go around to the back of the mountain with a machete and I start whacking away at stuff and I'm making it hard and difficult and fearful and frustrated. I'm blaming the mountain. I'm blaming the path. And all these other guys are over here going, "Hey, just follow this path, and you'll find some happiness in your life, bro." So after being beaten and tired and understanding that my pride is the only thing wanting me to carve out my own path, that I said, you know what, this is not going to work. And I started following some other happy people, and I started doing what they did, and it worked, man. It worked, you know. Uh, hey, so I guess that's as far as we got is up to step 3 because we are running out of time. Okay, so this is just a shorty. I'm only on here for 30 minutes, and I will be here next Friday or next Tuesday, 5 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. And next week, this week, if you have any questions about recovery or you want to talk some crap on it, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But if you have questions about recovery and what it does, or the steps, or your spiritual condition, or prayer, or meditation, or spirituality, or your suffering, put some stuff in the comments and I will pull them out. And next week I will answer them to the best of my ability. And again, I don't know everything. I don't have the answers to everything. All I know how to do is go from a person that just could not stop screwing himself over and over into a decent human being that cares about myself and loves myself and then loves others in a way I never have before. And I have a grateful life because of that. I live a simple, pretty much simple life, and I just help people and I take calls and I want everyone to win. I don't want people to suffer anymore. So, and I'll do my best. I can't help everybody, but I will tell you this, everybody can help somebody. You can. You can help somebody, even if you sit with somebody for 5 minutes. I promise you that can literally mean the difference between life and death sometimes. Because when people are lost and broken at the end of their rope, they absolutely think that no one gives a shit. They think the world would be better off without them. And if you give that person 5 minutes of your time and let them know that someone does care, someone does give a shit, that could turn the corner for somebody. Just one small moment of kindness. Be kindness to the people around you. Be kind to everybody that you possibly can. Recognize when you're poisoning yourself. Recognize when you're being shitty. And recognize you don't have to be. And especially don't blame the world for the way that you feel. because that is definitely not healthy. Take responsibility for the way that you are inside and release those demons. That's all I got, you guys. And we'll see you next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Shoot your questions this week, and I'll do my best to be able to answer as many as I possibly can. Hey, thank you so much. God bless you. Namaste. Blessings of light and love. And we'll see you then. Thanks.